Tim Fox appears to be all right. Walked off the field under his own power. Of course, he was one of 3 first-round picks in '76. And let's see how it happened. He comes up from his free safety spot and just Van Egan with his brute strength going against a 190-pounder. Van Egan about 225 or 230. 3rd down and 3. Ball at the 14-yard line. Oakland leading 14-0. We're in the 2nd quarter in case you just joined us. Frank Gifford, Howard Cosell, and Don Meredith on a special Sunday night telecast from Oakland and New England. Arthur Whittington is in motion. Banaszak.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Nowhere to go that
level
time.
at the line of scrimmage. Might have got to the 15, but short of the 1st.
As Timmy Fox, we're advised that it's his lower left back that's been hurt. However, from all appearances, he'll be back sometime during the game. We're not advised that he won't be. Fox, who teamed up as a rookie with Mike Haynes to give New England a superb defensive backfield that this year has been strangely ineffective. The key stat on New England's failure is they rank last in the league in terms of opponents' yards per pass attempt, allowing 8 yards per completed toss.
You looked at a little lightning there in Stanley Morgan as Ray Guy is set to punt. Grabs the ball, pulls it down, gets it off, has to hurry, and it takes a New England bounce at midfield. And New England will get good field position. They're down 14 points, and they need to get something happening because Oakland is starting to look like the Oakland that we have known over the years. In the playoffs so frequently.
Long way to go yet, Giff. If they can start mixing, New England's been showing an ability to move the ball now on the ground in their last drive that was finally halted. If they can mix that up a little bit with some at least short passing successfully, they can get back in this game in a hurry.
Some quarterback rollouts is what I want. Quarterback rollouts, utilize that extra back for a blocker.
Well, they're not hiding their intentions. They're using 2 tight ends, Francis and Hasselbeck. On 1st down. Almost picked off. Intended there for Andy Johnson, and Monty Johnson almost got it.
Well, Monty Johnson read the quarterback immediately. He gave it away, and Johnson was just waiting to sneak in there, pick it off, and go down a clear field for a touchdown.
I tell you, trying to throw the ball out of this compressed offensive formation is a little silly against a team like Oakland. They have no wide receivers there, 1 wide receiver rather.
Well, there is something, though, Frank, throwing that 1st down. He was fairly successful again against Baltimore last week doing that, throwing on 1st down. Most teams are not really expecting a pass on that down.
Carlos Pennywell, top of your screen. Andy Johnson gets the call over the left side, and he's upended there. Loss of a yard. Back close to the 49-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 12. Monty Johnson again on the play, along with Charles Phillips.
Tusak was in there too, the big man who plays sometimes, it seems, in spurts, but he can kill you all by himself when he's hot.
3rd down, passing down. Oakland once before, same situation. They sent linebacker Ted Hendricks. Bill Jackson in, Westbrook is in, Stanley Morgan. That's your regular offensive set for New England. It's Hendricks again, and he gets away. Does Rogan and has to throw it away. Once again, Hendricks sent on the sure pass situation.
Don't let that man loose. He can be a wild man.
They really mixed that charge up. They brought in their #1 draft choice, Dave Browning, that time. Get a little more speed in their pass rush, and they also brought in Hendricks, and then they confused that blocking.
And now they have to bring in Gerald Wilson. There he is. Neil Colsey is dropping for Oakland. Wilson will put it out at the 7-yard line from just about the same spot a few moments ago. Angles now. The other sideline doesn't get it. Colsey has the ball at the 13. And New England hustling down there. Number 30, Masi Tatupu, the rookie from USC, was down there. 38-yard punt. And we'll be returning to Oakland in just a moment.
That's Clarence Davis on crutches. He's been such an important figure in Oakland's success over the years. Another of Frank's fellow alumni from USC. And his place being filled handsomely by young Whittington from SMU, as we have remarked.
1st and 10. The Oakland Raiders, they have a 14-0 lead. The ball at their own 14-yard line. Jimmy Stabler, very cool, even with the 9 interceptions. Goes to Van Egan, and then a little extra effort on his own, and he gets out over the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Mel Lunsford on the stop.
They called Stabler the snake, but he really snaked out yardage then. There's the New England bench, a quiet group at the moment, understandably.
Stabler's got his own country and western singer staying with him. Jimmy Buffett resting up on the broken wheel is sitting right behind us.
Well, you know, you really made it when you got your own country western singer. Man.
I was hoping you'd get to that. That's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, that's big.
Short of the
Sometimes
first.
it can be your undoing.
Yeah.
Short of the first, it'll be 3rd down, about a yard and a half. Larry Robisky.
Al Davis calls him my young Pete Banaszak.
Got him on the 8th round a year ago.
And they got Whittington on the 7th round.
Got a cheap seat. Beautiful day in the Bay Area.
Really is.
3rd down, and good New England defense. Mark Van Egan is turned back by Mel Lunsford. He got a lot of help from Steve Zabel.
They're really tightening up that defense now, at least against the ground game. Kenny will probably start passing again the next time they get the ball.
Real good move by Sugar Bear Hamilton that time. Just kind of slid around, started it in the middle.
Trigger Bear?
Sugar Bear.
Oh, Sugar Bear. I thought you said Trigger Bear.
Well, I have an accent.
He played for Chuck Fairbanks back in Oklahoma, right, Don?
Yep, along with 5 other teammates. There are 6 of them on this New England ball club.
Ray Guy will punt away. Stanley Morgan is back for New England, standing at about his own 28-yard line. End over end, but it still goes a long way. Here's Morgan looking for the picket line, and flags are down.
Patriots.
41-yard punt.
Those Patriots are having a hard time getting this thing uncorked here tonight. They're at their best field position in the series before this and lost 2 yards with that one. Now back up to midfield, and it looks like there's going to be a clipping penalty or something. Let's see. That's right. That's right. Thank you.
And that will back them up. They would have had the ball right about their own 44-yard line. And we'll find out about the offender.
Personal foul, clipping number 30 on the run back. 1st down.
Tutupu made a good coverage of a punt a short while ago. Now he's just cost his ball club.
Mosi.
A few yards back to their own 31-yard line. Russ Francis, again, the 2 tight ends are in there. Andy Johnson in slow motion going around the right side, and anytime you string it out that slowly, you better believe that Oakland's going to get you in pursuit, and that's exactly what they do. Big number 76 Mike McCoy is in there now. They alternate McCoy and Sistrunk. They're starting a fine rookie prospect, Dave Browning, number 73 at right end. They say he is perhaps their best pass rusher already. Pete Banaszak.
Nothing to it, is it?
Gain of 3, 2nd down, 7. Ball at the 35-yard line of New England. Rogan hands off to Cunningham. Cunningham out to the 38-yard line. Gain of 3. It's going to be 3rd down and 3.
Well, the Yankees got a 2-hitter from the incredible Ron Guidry today, 4-0. He's 23-3, that's all. But Boston rallied for 2 in the 9th and then went on to win it in the 14th. They trail the Yanks by 1. Phils crushed the Mets. Bucks lost to Montreal. Phils lead by 4. Brings in good position now.
Regular pro set. Grogan, this is a design play, I'm sure, and Grogan Drops the ball, recovers it, a flag is down at the line of scrimmage, and Grogan is down at the 41-yard line. He bobbles the ball, and there's a mad scramble.
They can't do anything right.
Remember, a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. 21-yard pickup, a rather extraordinary one.
I agree with you. It was a design play.
Somebody down there has the ball.
I love the way each side immediately points in its own favoring direction. Without a clue as to who really has it.
They indicate that New England has the ball, but again, a flag is down back at the line of scrimmage.
Well, let's see. Well, yep, you can see those guards releasing on both sides, so that's really what it be. Looks like it's a holding call. The ball was ripped out of his hands. He dropped it, picked it up again, still carrying a little bit loose, blindsided.
Fairbanks.
Phillips.
Chuck Fairbanks on the sideline, the picture of disconsolate.
That's going to be a holding call against New England. That'll bring it all back. It was fun to watch, but nothing happens.
Look at him.
That's disconsolate as if I've ever seen it.
I got to go all that. He's disconsolate.
Yeah.
Nothing going right for him. Look at him.
He might be a little hot, too.
And he's not happy on top of all that.
Nothing we can do for him.
And here's the call.
Holding, number 70, offense, third down.
Leon Gray, left side, New England. Nullifies a first down around the 40-yard line of Oakland, and it puts New England all the way back to their 28-yard line. It's third down and 13.
Leon had a couple of those holdings last Monday, if I remember right.
He might have had more than a couple.
Well, they called him on 2.
It was easier at Oklahoma, Chuck.
Not necessarily. There's pressure down there. Pressure.
Third and 13. Flags are down.
He's going to throw that one to Chuck.
Just the way it's set up, it looked like somebody was drawn off. Yes. Procedure call against New England. Somebody moved, and Oakland came.
I think it was 81, the tight end, Russ Francis.
And that will back New England up 5 additional yards.
Instead of coming into this game fired up, let's listen.
False start, middle of the line, offense, still third down.
Middle of the line, not Russ Francis. There's a good shot of Chuck Fairbanks. I thought New England would come into this game fired up, Don, but they haven't. They've been a hangdog down team.
Third down, 18. The ball at the 23-yard line of New England. They trail 14-0. 6:47 remaining in the first half. They need to get something moving.
He fumbled.
Cunningham drops the ball, and that is going to hurt Oakland. Mike McCoy unpiles.
There's Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
We could cover this game by a series of continuing close-up shots on the coach.
Charles Phillips gets the fumble recovery. And Oakland is threatening again inside the 30-yard line of New England. Great collegiate career, of course, at Oklahoma, and as I agree with you, Howard, it's a little different up here.
Ask Bud Wilkinson.
Oakland, 1st and 10. Stabler, been around 9 years, been a starter for the past 5. This, of course, is 6th year as a starter. Arthur Whittington. And the little one is upended by Tim Fox, who obviously is feeling no pain from been shaking up a short while ago. Whittington gets a yard and a half, full of 2nd down and 8.
Here goes Kenny back to the air.
Yeah. That's not a bad place for him to be. You know, last week, though, he didn't have to throw. I think he, we shouldn't have mentioned it. He didn't throw very many times last week because they ran so much against Green Bay. I think they'd like to do that against these guys. That time they only picked up a little over a yard, so he probably will put it up.
Nope, draw play.
That's what I said. He probably will put it up. Maybe he should have put it up.
Playing it very cautiously.
Robisky back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe he gets a foot. It'll be 3rd down long again. Steve Zabel in on the stop. Biletnikoff will come in. You'll see number 25 step into the huddle. Robisky will come out. In effect, what you have, 3 wide receivers. Biletnikoff, Morris Bradshaw, he's 81, and Cliff Branch, number 21.
Biletnikoff having a hard time, not too happy with the management. No longer treated as the superstar he has been through all of the years. Seeing part-time duty.
3rd and 8.
Oh, big Casper.
Casper. First down inside the 10-yard line. Tim Fox upended Casper.
Oh, boy, he was open from the line of scrimmage.
Oh, wasn't he?
Well, the key is, as you pointed out, we'll look at it from the end zone. He's getting all the protection in the world, all the time in the world, and you give Stabler that, you're dead. Casper isolated, Don.
Well, he got a quick push in there, but he really didn't get a good shot at him. He pushed on off. That was Rod Schote that was trying to bump him. Schote relies more on his speed than he does his physical power. Didn't hit him that time. He really got loose in a hurry. Yeah, just brushed him.
Stabler, 5 consecutive completions.
Whoops, he says.
1st and goal. The ball just short of the 9-yard line of New England. Stabler wants it in a hurry.
Threw it away.
Away. Exactly right.
He really did. It was almost caught anyway.
Remember what I said. New England led the league a year ago in quarterback sacks. Now they're down to 22nd in that department in the NFL.
And one of those reasons usually why those things go up or down. The rush has to be getting back there. They really haven't been putting a lot of pressure on it. Got to have a good, strong linebacker play, the movement out of those linebackers. So it's an overall coordinated thing. Last week, there were a lot of guys open for Baltimore, but the weather was so bad you couldn't really tell whether it was bad defensive play or they just were open. Tonight, you're getting some guys open pretty easily.
2nd down and goal. The ball at the 9. Branch to the left. The toss goes out to Whittington, and Whittington taken out of bounds about the 6-yard line by Steve Nelson. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Turnovers killing New England tonight. Oakland's first touchdown was set up by an overthrown pass by Grogan and a concomitant interception. Look at that shot from that Goodyear plane. You talk about West Coast beauty.
Hold it just for a minute. Isn't that something?
Great Bay Area.
Well, you understand what Tony Bennett was talking about.
Yep. As we pan over the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum.
Oh, nice shot, guys.
3rd and goal. Passing down. But we won't take chances. We have a 14-0 lead. This is Whittington.
And he did it.
He gets it in a way. Oh, flag is down. Same play. Whittington scored on a short while ago. The flag is down.
He really squirted through beautifully. He was almost corralled behind the line of scrimmage, but
that was just SMU
got him away.
He did. He zipped in there. What happened? Uh-oh.
Big break for New England. Big break.
Touchdown by Whittington nullified. Clipping call against Oakland.
Well, he scored 2 last week. Scored his 2nd today. Had it taken away from him.
Personal foul. Clipping, number 88. Offense, 3rd down.
Raymond Chester. Clipping Oakland. So it'll be 3rd down now that the ball is moved out to the 18-yard line. Bradshaw 81 and Branch 21 come to the right.
I think it'll be Branch.
Stabler. And intended for Casper, and Casper well covered.
He was really hit. Stabler was, just as he released the football.
He had to hold it because Mike Haynes was right with Casper all over him, and Stabler was hoping that Casper would uncover. He didn't.
That was Dick Bishop.
Steve Zabel that hit him.
Was it Zabel? I thought it was Bishop that came back in there. They did put some pressure that time.
Earl Mann, 1977. He was 20 of 28. Came from Detroit back in the middle of the season of '76 and got himself into a Super Bowl. 35-yard attempt. Hooks it to the left, no good. And New England gets out of what could have sent them sliding even further downhill.
New England has 4 minutes and 8 seconds left. 4 minutes and 5 now to try to get a score on the board and get back in this game. So far, they've been showing no evidence of being able to do that.
And I think he knew pretty quickly that he had not done it. So, oh, why do I do things like that? Sometimes I just amaze myself. They did not close the door. They had a good opportunity. That fumble turnover wound up giving the ball back right out on the 20.
New England, 1st and 10. The ball at their own 20-yard line. They have a goose egg on the scoreboard. Oakland has 14. This is Andy Johnson. Andy Johnson does not get back to the line of scrimmage.
Do you suppose that their scouting report just said that defense, pass defense, is so tough we can't throw on it? Or do you think they thought they could run on it? I would think that they're going to start putting that ball up in the air.
They came out throwing, and nothing was happening. They got their interception. That led to Oakland's first score. And I think what happened, Chuck Fairbanks started with his double tight end offense just to settle things down. That's not the way you're going to beat Oakland.
Yeah, if the run doesn't work, they have to go to the special teams.
2nd and 11. Sistrunk pressuring. Screen pass.
There you go.
Andy Johnson. And Johnson, nifty pickup, moves out to the 25-yard line where it's going to be 3rd down and 5. Willie Hall made the stop.
3:12, Frank. The half. Well, we're counting down to the 2-minute warning.
Oakland 2-1 on the young season thus far. 11-3 last year into the playoffs. Beat Baltimore, lost to Denver. Denver, of course, going on to the Super Bowl to lose to Dallas. Pat Toomey, number 67, an old teammate of yours, Don, in the lineup.
Well, I didn't play with him, but he does come from Dallas. He is
Brogan to Andy Johnson, 1st down. And Johnson collected there at the 37-yard line. Willie Hall hustling over, and Charles Phillips were both there.
designated pass rusher, they call him. Toomey says, what a deal. I've played in a lot of different clubs, and he says, man, if there is such thing as football heaven, it's right here in Oakland. I think he likes it.
Played with you?
No, I didn't play with him.
You didn't?
Yeah.
You'd have had the ball more times if you did.
Yeah.
They may not get this play off before the 2-minute warning. No, they will not. And there it is, the 2-minute warning. New England has 3 timeouts. Oakland has 2 timeouts, and we'll be returning to Oakland Alameda County Stadium right after this message. Frank Gifford, Howard Cosell, Don Meredith will be in Chicago tomorrow night. Minnesota and Chicago go at it there in a key battle, really, for the Minnesota Vikings. The Bears, of course, off to a great start. Their best since 1963. Minnesota, the perennial champions of that Central Division of the NFC. Well, they're having troubles. They can get it back on track tomorrow night, and we'll be there. Right now, there's 2 minutes remaining in the first half here in Oakland. The Oakland Raiders over the New England Patriots, 14-0. 1st and 10. New England has the ball, their own 37-yard line. Stanley Morgan, wide receiver, top of your screen. Both backs into the pass pattern for Grogan. Grogan. This is the big tight end, Russ Francis, and he dances down the sidelines for a first down at the 39-yard line of Oakland. His first reception of the night. He did not play last week against Baltimore.
He came open late. You can see that you'll see another look. Sistrunk had him to duck. Gave Francis time to clear out. He came right across. He just kept going all the way across. And he really wasn't open until that final shot at him. You see right here, he's trying to cut across, crisscross. Had a slip down. That was Monty Johnson. He opened up way on the outside.
Taking a long time for these receivers to learn they don't have to be concerned about getting hit after they go down 5 yards. Francis looking for Monty Johnson.
All
on
right.
the first down, it goes to Cunningham, and Cunningham has a first down at the 25-yard line, inside the 25.
Another good pass pattern, and they flooded one area, one zone. They had Francis coming out. They had a clear out with Andy Johnson. Let Cunningham come in there late. They cleared out all the linebackers. Picked them up a first down.
And Fairbanks yells immediately out onto the field, and quarterback Steve Grogan calls timeout. Moves over to visit with Fairbanks.
I think it's really important for this club to get some kind of points on the scoreboard before the halftime.
Of course it is. It's their first sustained drive.
Yeah.
Grogan's confidence growing with every game. When you got a man like Russ Francis, make use of it. As Frank said, he and Dave Casper are the 2 best in the league, and If Francis could escape injury, which he's been susceptible to the past 2 years, he could be all world.
Well, they've got Cunningham's a good receiver. Eddie Johnson's a good receiver.
I take this moment to talk about an unspeakable tragedy. I speak, of course, of the California Angels late outfielder Lyman Bostock, who drove down after a game Saturday in Chicago with his uncle to Gary, Indiana, and then in a series of circumstances too complex to be detailed here, was unaccountably shot through the temple by a total stranger, and he is dead. And for all of us, I think perhaps John Keats said it best in the very beginning of his classic Ode to a Nightingale. My heart aches, and a drowsy numbness pains my sense. That's the way we all feel about the loss of a great athlete, a fine man who showed his character when he wanted to give back part of his salary to the management when he wasn't producing.
New England on 1st and 10. Trying to get on the scoreboard. A man is open and overthrown. It was Harold Jackson crossing over from the right side. And Grogan knows that he had the score there. It was Lester Hayes who was covering Jackson closely.
But he was open, Frank. He had a step or two there. Hayes was fairly close to him.
If you're going to win championships, this is the kind of...
Yeah, you got to drop that ball over.
Completions you have to
drop
make.
it over the head right into there. Instead of drilling it on that straight line. Have a little touch to it.
Touch. We call it touch. He throws everything the same way.
Jackson is out. Westbrook is in. 2nd down and 10. 1:37 on the clock. New England has 2 timeouts. Westbrook, top of your screen. Morgan, bottom of your screen. Those are the wide receivers. Francis is open. 6-point guy. Grogan right on target. Francis getting clear, working against Charles Phillips.
Now we've got a football game, the game we expected going in.
All right. He's working over the right side. He had Ted Hendricks with him there for a shot. Hendricks couldn't get back. He put that one right on the line, and Charles Phillips couldn't either. You see Hendricks trying to come back. He can't touch him now at that 5-yard. What really happened is that it looked to me that Charles Phillips saw Hendricks there, and he took the inside move, and Francis cut back to the corner, and he just couldn't recover in time.
I don't know what he was doing, but Phillips was just flat-footed.
Yeah, he went to the inside way too quickly.
Nick Lowry, it'll be his first NFL point. Could be. It is. Nick Lowry from Dartmouth had a tryout with the Jets in preseason. Didn't make it, and of course, Patrick, John Smith, the fine place kicker for New England, has been placed on the injury reserve. He's out for the season. That's the story now.
Coming up at halftime, we've got highlights of some of today's NFL games, plus the highlights in the pennant race. The Phils against the Mets, the Yanks against Cleveland, and Boston in their thrilling victory over the Toronto Blue Jays. But among the football games, that great game between the Steelers and the Browns, who entered today's clash unbeaten. And then, of course, the Dallas Cowboys seeking to get back to winning ways. And the Giants, who are red hot and showing more than anyone expected. All of that at halftime.
Lowry will kick off. Deep, a pair of rookies. 22 is Whittington, 80 is Joe Stewart. This is Joe Stewart from Missouri. And Stewart moves out to the 30-yard line, make it the 31, where Oakland will begin their operation. They have 1:27 remaining in the first half.
This is where you usually see Kenny Stabler at his very best. Over the past 5 years, where he's been perfectly brilliant and all-pro every year, he has had the capacity to save the clock, to use it better than any other quarterback in the league.
I think this is the area that they've been concerned with him so far. Howard, you're right about that in the past. He hasn't done it successfully this year.
From the 31-yard line, Robisky over the right side, cuts back, gets out to the 35-yard line. Gain of 5, it'll be 2nd and 5, upended by Tim Fox.
You were going to speak of Mickey Marvin, Frank. He was leading the blocking on that play.
Number 65 he's replaced as a starter one of the fine guards in football, and that's Beeler. He's second-year man out of Tennessee, and we saw a little bit of him last year. 4th-round draft pick, and they are really high on Mickey Marvin. A lot of speed, 6'4" and 270. When you can move that kind of speed from the guard position, you have a great plus for your offense. This is Whittington. Whittington somehow manages to get out of one pile-up, but he still loses a yard. Back to the 34-yard line when he's collected there finally by Mike Haynes and Steve Nelson.
See the Patriots now calling a timeout.
Right, that's right. Isn't this interesting that Stabler, in effect, is not using the clock, staying on the ground and letting it run?
I wondered if he would. He was.
Well, I think the fact that they scored, that New England scored just now, made it a 14-7 ball game. When they were sitting on a 14-zip lead, they're going to go in and say, okay, let's don't let anything silly happen like an intercepted pass and go into this halftime all tied up. Let's protect that 7-point lead, come back in, get it going again. However, they didn't. They weren't really that backed up. They have a first down on the 30-yard line. I think I would have taken a couple of shots at it just to try to get in field goal range.
New England now has 1 timeout. Oakland has 2 timeouts. Stabler conferring with John Madden. That's his off-season look when he hangs around down there in the Gulf Coast, catching fish, just enjoying life.
That's his season look too, when he just hangs around enjoying life.
Years.
3rd down now and 7.
Oliver Spencer, the offensive line coach, went out to talk to him. He was the guy with the headset. 35 seconds left.
Oakland has 2 timeouts. New England can stop it one more time. And will not take a chance this time either. And Whittington gets the call short of the first down as he moves out to the 38-yard line, where it's going to be 4th down and 3.
Well, now then, they've got no timeouts. They get a good kick by a guy.
And the clock is stopped with the change of teams, so they still have their 1 timeout.
Oh, they do.
There's Stanley Morgan.
Well, New England knows that it's in a division that's all fouled up. The Jets are 2-2. Miami is 2-2. Baltimore's 1-3. Buffalo's 1-3. New England came into this scrap at 1-2. So they're in the thick of things in their division, where all the teams are having their troubles. As for Oakland, they know that Denver beat Kansas City in overtime today, so Denver is at 3-1. They're at 2-1. San Diego hasn't won since they lost to Oakland in that controversial thing.
Ray got a punt. Stanley Morgan standing back around his 16-yard line. Guy hangs it high and a flag goes down. I think we'll have illegal receivers downfield. And only send 2 men down. Of course, your outside men. The rest of them must wait till the ball is punted.
Meanwhile, the clock shows 18 seconds to the end of the first half.
Discussion going on out of midfield. 50-yard punt by Ray Guy. Now we're going to get a holding call that's going to go against New England.
Well, that'll change it around a little bit. Bring that offensive unit back out there.
And a rains of pours, and it's been a tough night for New England in terms of breaks, and yet they've got out of this first half. They trailed by 7, and we'll listen to the call.
Holding, defense before the kick, first down.
Defensive holding before the punt. That turns it around and gives Oakland a first down. The ball at their own 43-yard line. Chuck Fairbanks almost in disbelief. But as I said before, he's coming out of this first half in pretty good shape. 1 Oakland touchdown nullified. That would have made it 21-0. Biletnikoff is in. Oakland has 2 timeouts. Stabler will take the chance now from midfield. Screen pass. Banaszak. Banaszak at the 45-yard line. Dropped there.
Ray Hamilton really had a zero on him, and he just got him in.
He really did.
Yep.
Gave evidence of how quickly he could move as he ran laterally and caught the runner.
Oakland now kills the clock. Stabler comes over to talk to John Madden. 12 seconds indicated remaining in the first half. And remind you once again that even though it's Sunday night, we'll have highlights coming your way at halftime. And even though it's Sunday night, we'll also be in Chicago tomorrow night for the Bears and the Vikings.
Have some more highlights tomorrow night, too, won't we?
We'll just highlight
will.
everything.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night's another critical game, by the way. And I use the word critical advisedly. I read somewhere that it's a mistake to call any game critical this early in the season. The word or adjective critical is used in the sense that should Minnesota lose tomorrow night, having already lost unexpectedly to teams like New Orleans and Tampa Bay, they would be at 1-3. And because of the extended 16-game schedule this year, it's going to be difficult to sustain excuse me, during the course of that long schedule without additional defeats. As the defeats add up then in the early going, they take on more and more significance.
Maybe we could say it'd be relatively critical.
What was that?
Well, it could be relatively critical. That's what I mean. You don't want
right.
to. Yeah, relatively critical. I understood that. Plus, the Bears would be 4-0.
Might even have said Frank deleteriously significant.
Yes.
12 seconds remaining in this half in Oakland. Nothing critical at the moment. Oakland with a 14-7 lead. Second down and 8. Stabler will put it up. Way up.
And you're right. He just put it up.
Good as a punt. Tim Fox, I believe, came down with it. Yes, he did. Doug Bedoin, Ray Claiborne were back there. It was one of those, well, even if your own receiver can deflect it on this year, it can still be a completion. Stabler just hung it up there and was hoping for the best.
That's really true. You're right.
As Staubach did in that throw to Pearson a few years back against Minnesota. Here's Cliff Branch, number 21.
This would probably be inspired by the new rule, Frank, that you indicated. That's the tip rule, that you can have your guy touch it.
Somebody has to catch it if you leave it up there that high. And
that's true.
Oakland has as much chance as New England. In this case, though, Fox intercepts. New England has the ball at their own 12-yard line. 3 seconds indicating on the clock. This will be the final play of the first half. Grogan tries the same thing. Taken out of bounds by Bonnie Jackson. We'll be ready for our halftime highlights. And after this message and a word from our local stations, once again, 14-7 is Oakland over New England from Oakland, California.
We're back, and that's a live shot of the beautiful Bay Area on this very warm evening. Temperature close to 90 degrees. The score at halftime is Oakland 14, New England 7. The scoring went like this. In the first quarter, Oakland scored on a pass from Stabler to Casper, 22 yards, 7-0. Whittington on a 4-yard run, 14-0 Oakland. New England scored in the second quarter. Grogan passing 25 years to Russ Francis. Now our halftime highlights are going to be brought to you by Commercial Credit, a financial service of Control Data Corporation. We find ways to help. As we turn our attention to those highlights, we begin with Pittsburgh against Cleveland. The two teams exchanged field goals throughout the game. 9-9 was the score. They went into overtime. Let's pick it up. That's Larry Anderson, number 30, Pittsburgh Steelers, receiving the Cleveland kickoff in overtime and hit by Dave Graff, 55, apparently fumbling. The ball apparently recovered by Ricky Feature of Cleveland, but it was ruled no fumble. The teams went into the overtime tied at 9-9, both unbeaten going into this game. And then a flea flicker play, and it winds up with Bradshaw throwing to Benny Cunningham. Touchdown, Pittsburgh stays unbeaten, beats the Browns 15-9. Those are the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, familiar figures on the national scene. And right here, Tony Dorsett, 33, fumbling the ball, recovered by number 20, Mike Sensabaugh of the St. Louis Cardinals. Now down to the Dallas 9. Jim Hart over the center. Jim Hart looking for the speedster Mel Gray, hitting him, and surprisingly, in the first quarter, 7-0, the Cardinals. And then this. Tony Dorsett, as the Cards were leading 10-0, bursting through for the touchdown that made it 10-7 Cardinals at the half. In the third quarter, though, St. Louis still giving them a fight. Danny White, number 11, back to punt. The ball blocked by 87, Jim Thaxton. Watch the ball as it goes into the end zone, being hotly pursued by both the Cardinals and the Cowboys through the end zone. Automatic safety, 12-7 in favor of the Cardinals in the fourth quarter. Dallas on the St. Louis 2-yard line, 3rd and 1. Robert Newhouse bolts through, touchdown Dallas, 14-12 over St. Louis. Then still in the fourth quarter, Roger Staubach on the St. Louis 40. Throwing the ball down the middle for the ever-present Drew Pearson, number 88. And it's good all the way down to the 15-yard line. On the next play, with Landry looking on. More gratifyingly now, it is 1st and 10 on the 15. And a quick pitch to Robert Newhouse. He goes in for another score. Dallas wins it 21-12 over the Cardinals. That is Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands, East Rutherford, New Jersey. And it's the 49ers with that man, O.J. Simpson, against the red-hot Giants. 49ers first possession. Steve DeBerg back to pass. Open receiver. Overthrows him. Ball picked off by Ray Rhodes. One-time running back. One-time wide receiver. Showing both talents at this point. Bringing the ball downfield. That play set up a play for quarterback Joe Pisarcik, number 9. Watch him. Excellent protection right in the pocket. Down the middle. Tight end Al Dixon from Iowa State. Touchdown. The Giants led 7-0. Giant fans going crazy over the unexpected good tidings for their team. In the third quarter, the Giants leading 17-3 on the 49-42. Look at 33, the free agent from Bayside High School in New York, Bobby Hammond, all the way down to the 49ers 3-yard line. Personal foul penalty moved it to the 1. So that set up another Giant touchdown. Pisarcik handling his troops beautifully. Right there, Willie Spencer in for the score. And finally, the Giants went on to win it 27-10. Now let's turn our attention to the Major League pennant races. First, the National League East, the play Shea Stadium, the Phillies against the Mets. The game about to begin. On the mound for the Mets, Nino Espinosa. At the plate for the Phils, Bake McBride. Espinosa with the pitch. Hanging curveball, shelled by Bake McBride, deep to right center, out of the ballpark, home run, a 1-0 lead for the Phils. In the fourth, the Phils were leading 3-1. Richie Hebner up, former Pirate. Good, steady hitter. He laces one. Watch closely. Off the very top of the right field wall. And Hebner makes it to third, sliding in easily for a triple. Mike Schmidt, the next batter. Mike's bat has improved a great deal lately. Reaches for an outside pitch, hits it to right field. Will score Hebner easily. That makes it the Phillies 4 and the Mets 1. In the top of the 6th inning, the Phils wrapped it up. Tim McCarver at bat, 2 on base. Hebner on second, Schmidt on first. And the veteran catcher who once starred in a World Series for the Cardinals hits this one along the right field foul line out of the ballpark. The Phils went on to win 8-2. And in the process, they upped their lead to 4 games as the Bucks lost still another one to the Montreal Expos up in Montreal. Now to the American League East, the Yanks at Cleveland. It's the top of the 4th inning. The score 0-0. 1 out. Munson on third. Jackson on first. They had back-to-back singles. Greg Nettles up. The pitch. Nettles loops it to right center. That scores Munson. Jackson goes to third, but Nettles is caught in a rundown between first and second. That brings up Lou Piniella with 2 out. Lou Piniella, solid 300 hitter, lines one to center field. That scores Reggie Jackson. The Yankees lead it 2-0. Moving to the top of the 7th, 2 out, 2-0 Yanks. Den on second, Randolph on first. The battered Thurman Munson up. Thurman lines one to left, scoring Dent. That made it 3-0. There's Bucky scoring, and now Reggie Jackson up. Jackson shoots one into right field, and that scores still another run. Willie Randolph, that made it 4-0. That was all the Yankees scored. Bottom of the 9th. Ron Guidry on the mound. Fans the slugger Andre Thornton. His 8th strikeout of the game. His 9th shutout of the year. Tying Babe Ruth's record for left-handers on shutouts in a season. Set in 1916 with 9. We're at Toronto now. Boston against Toronto. It's the top of the 6th. The score is tied at 3-3. The old pro coming to bat. Carl Yastrzemski. He gets one out over the plate, and that's goodbye. It's 4-3 as Yaz comes through once again. Bottom of the 8th, 4-3 Boston. 1 out, Mayberry up. The pitch. Mayberry loops a single to short left center. That'll tie it up. Scoring Bob Baylor right there, 4-4. Same inning, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th, 4-4. Rich Cerrone up. Line drive against the left field wall in the corner. Scoring 2 runners. The Blue Jays leading 6-4. But the Red Sox showed no disposition to quit. Top of the 9th, move 2. 6-4 Toronto. Bases loaded, 1 out. Rick the Rooster Burleson up. Hits one sharply down the right field line. That'll tie it up as 2 runners score. 6-6. So they went to extra innings. Here's where the Boston Red Sox showed their class. Bottom of the 12th, 6-6. Willie Upshaw first, no outs. Batter up. Attempted bunt, of course. A short pop. Brilliant diving catch by Carlton Fisk. Throw to first, double play. Fisk shaken up on the play. But this man is a battler. Voted the most valuable Red Socker of the year by the fans. Now, top of the 14th, 6-6, 1 out. Rice on second. Carlton Fisk at the plate. He hits a high bounder to the shortstop. He is still battling. He beats it out. That moved Rice to third on the infield hit. Then with 2 out, Rice on third, Fisk on first. Butch Hobson up. The pitch, ground ball to Roy Howard. He bobbles it, throws wildly to first, and that scores Rice with the winning run. Boston wins it 7-6, trail the Yanks by 1.
Halftime at Oakland. It's Oakland over New England 14-7. Of course, we'll be in Chicago tomorrow night. Chicago and Minnesota. We'll have more highlights for you at that time. The halftime statistics. And it became rather close in times of possession towards the end, although Oakland still dominating. Total yardage, fairly close. Should be an interesting second half. And right now at the score, at halftime, Oakland 14, New England 7. The special Sunday edition of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Datsun. We are driven to give you a year-end deal on the greatest economy of all, Datsun quality. And we'll be ready for the second half kickoff after word from our local stations. Stay with us. The bewhiskered one, Kenny Stabler, he of the left arm, who exercises such talent. And he is 6 of 8 this far in the first half. You know, New England does something unusual, and as Don mentioned a moment ago, as we were looking down on the field, they come out and do a lot of stretching exercises.
I think it's really smart. You know,
it is good.
Usually quarterbacks are the ones, and maybe receivers will come out and limber up, warm up a little bit, but Fairbanks really believes that you come out, and it really makes so much sense. You go in and you cool off for 15, 20 minutes.
There's Steve Grogan. They did the same calisthenics last week when they came out, Don.
Well, they didn't get hurt, you know. I'm not talking they're going to play better.
Set to kick now. Ray Guy, Raymond Claiborne is deep for New England. He's number 26, the speedster, flanked by Westbrook, 83, James McAllister, 37. There's Claiborne.
All right.
Ran back 3 kickoffs for touchdowns last year. Won a 100-yarder.
It's going to be a big half. I can just feel it. Let's go.
Guy hangs it high. Taken there by Don Westbrook. And Westbrook out over the 20-yard line to about the 23. Upended there by Mike Davis.
I thought Westbrook had a quick notion there to hand it on a reverse to Claiborne, but
I did too, but he got caught in a rundown between second and first.
Offensively, that is the unit. Andy Johnson, Sam Cunningham, they'll be alternating, of course. We haven't seen Don Calhoun this evening. The wide receivers, 86, Stanley Morgan, Errol Jackson, number 29, the tight end, Russ Francis. He scored the New England touchdown, a 25-yarder from Grogan. Veteran offensive line, Hanna, Adams the guards, and Cottis the center, Jordan and Leon Gray are the tackles. This is Francis.
They get him over there in front of Villapiano.
Grogan on first down. Man is wide open. It's Russ Francis. And Francis has the first down as he bowls out to the 35-yard line, hit by Ted Hendricks and number 39, Willie Hall. And I think you're exactly right. That's what they're doing, Don. They're getting him on the smaller linebacker, Villapiano, who didn't even try to hold him up. He went for some kind of fake action.
Well, there's a delayed pattern, and actually did a good job of it, Frank. He blocked first and then released late. You wonder how a guy that's such an outstanding receiver as Francis can get open like that. But it's with that block that he threw first, and they released him. He came across the middle.
And Villapiano read the block, thought it was run, stepped across. Francis was open. Cunningham out of the 40-yard line to the 43-yard line, short of the first down by about 3. It'll be 3rd and 3.
While they're only in their second series, you can see that this team has a whole new lift as a result of the touchdown they scored just before the end of the first half. Different looking ball club. And Grogan, as I said earlier, growing in confidence.
It's 2nd down and 3, not 3rd and 3. The ball is at the 42-yard line.
Chuck Fairbanks, too, judging by the look of him.
Andy Johnson.
Oh, there.
Flag is down. Johnson has the first down, where his progress is marked. But again, a flag is down. It's going to be a holding call. Guess who?
New England.
Yeah, you see that guy toss the flag in that area, you can pretty well figure it out. And Madden says that's a great call.
What he's saying is, you can listen to me, fellas.
John Madden this year will go into the NFL record books as the 13th coach in the history of this game to have won 100. He's won 96 in his career. This is only his 10th year.
Holding number 61, offense, 2nd down.
Sam Adams, the right guard, number 61. Watch. Working against Willie Hall.
Well, he only held a little bit.
Just a touch.
Backs New England up. Ball at their own 33-yard line. 2nd down and 13. Play action fake, and Villapiano misses, and Grogan takes off. And Grogan, close to a first down. He had to get just over the 45-yard line. Jack Tatum upended Grogan.
He was trying to wait on that block from Francis, and he just couldn't quite wait long enough. Francis couldn't quite get there. Maybe they picked up a few more, but I believe they are going to measure, so we'll wait and see.
That's what you wanted, a rollout, only that was a bootleg right.
That's okay, too. I think that, you really do. You utilize your personnel, and I think that's what Steve Grogan does exceptionally well. He can throw on the run, but he is that other weapon. And if you go ahead and have a quarterback run called, then you get a little bit more aggressive blocks, and that is a first down by that much. But they picked up 2 quick first downs, and I do think they're going to have a good second half.
They came out with a lot more snap, but I'm sure that first quarter they were maybe just a little bit embarrassed. And they looked like they'd snapped around just a bit. They put together a good drive that culminated in a 25-yard touchdown pass that got them to within 7 points. That's the story right now, 14-7, Oakland over New England. The first down is at the 45-yard line. And off goes to Sam Cunningham, and Cunningham squeezes out 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7, upended by Phil Villapiano.
He really worked for that yardage. I thought Bob Oates, the venerable football writer for the Los Angeles Times, had an interesting column today. He talked about the spread of talent throughout the league, the expanded schedule, the relative parity of talent, and that's exactly what's happening in this league. The old cliche, anyone can beat anyone else on any given day, is now perilously close to true. It used to be propaganda.
2nd and 7. Grogan, a lot of time, but no receiver. Grove had tried to dive for the first down. He's very close to it at the 45-yard line of Oakland. He had to get just over it. I don't believe he did. Monty Johnson drove him out of bounds.
You can never say that this man's not a competitor, because he really is, and he doesn't have, I would say, the highest regard for his body. I mean, then he'll throw it out there, let him take a look at it, but he just saw that flag laying down there and did the best he could to get there, and I think you called it right on, Frank. He came up about a half a yard short, but he will go out there and mix it up with you. He's had difficulties, we mentioned at the top of the telecast, with interceptions. A lot of people, myself included, feel a lot of those come from not having the ability to have that toss, that touch on that ball. He has everything on a string.
Third down, about a foot. Cunningham hurdles over the line of scrimmage, gets the first down.